Welcome back to Fox 43 AM Live. Join us now is Amber Leonetti with Cambridge Kitchen and Bath. Good morning.
Good morning, Dane.
Great to have you on the show today. I know a lot of us are thinking about spring cleaning, decluttering, and even going so far as to do a bit of remodeling, whether it's our kitchen or our bathroom. So how can a Cambridge Kitchen and Bath, do for our homes? What are we talking about here?
Well, thank you for having me. So my husband Zach and I started our company about 25 years ago, and we are a full service remodeling company here in Topeka. We specialize in kitchen and baths, and that seems to be kind of what most people are focused on right now. And so lots of projects from really small, just taking out a tub and putting in a walk-in shower to total renovations. So everything in between.
Fantastic. Yeah, I don't think we realize how much time we spend in our kitchen or bathroom every day that we can kind of go, I need a change in here.
Yeah.
So it's great that you guys are out here to be able to help us with that.
Yes.
What do you think kind of makes the customer experience stand out for you guys?
So where we try to set ourselves apart, there are lots of great remodelers in Topeka, and I think where we try to make the experience itself better is that from the first phone call to the last phone call when we're asking you hopefully to review us and say what a great experience you had, is we try and actually create an experience. We try and make it memorable for you and hold your hand when you need that assistance, but not overstep our bounds when you're saying, no, this is what I want. And so just really trying to listen and help and guide from the start of the process through the end. Communication is huge, and so we just really, we really try to make our experience different.
Fantastic. Now, I love the idea of a little bit of hand-holding, because there are some times where someone will ask me something like, I'm not the expert, I don't know.
Right.
Like, I just make it look pretty, please.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about kind of going from the first phone call to beyond. What's like a typical consultation look like?
Sure. So typically you start off with either a website inquiry or calling our showroom, stopping in our showroom. And then from there, we set up an in-home design consultation. So I come out, I take a look at your space, take some measurements, we kind of talk through your vision and a lot of times what your needs are, because even though most people start with, I want it to look pretty, a lot of times you haven't really thought through the way that you use your kitchen or bathroom or what challenges you're facing. So we kind of talk through that and what your end goal is. And then from there, it goes to the estimate process where you get an estimate, and then hopefully once we decide to work together, then we invite you back in our showroom where we make all the design selections. And so that's also a benefit to clients, is that they don't have to go to 3 or 4 different places to get all of their products. We have everything in our showroom. And so it's kind of a one-stop shop for people. And so we, again, just try and make the experience less daunting and overwhelming, because some people do get super overwhelmed when thinking about a project like that. So yeah.
I'm one of those people. And is there an average time frame of like how long a remodel can take?
Well, sure, depending on the project. A small bathroom could take 2 to 4 weeks, whereas a large bathroom could take up to 2 months. So just depending on your project, I would say definitely by using a local contractor, using someone that's familiar with your space and with products and availability and that sort of thing, that keeps the time frame down to a minimum, that you're without your space.
Yeah, and you kind of recommending kind of using local contractors. What kind of mistakes have you seen, I guess, people make in the past, or misconceptions that they have about the remodeling process?
Sure. So I would say the biggest one is trying to do it themselves. Again, it always feels like, oh, I can do that. And then you get into it and you're like, oh, maybe I've bit off a little more than I can chew. And so definitely doing it yourself. I would say stay away from out-of-town contractors. Not that there are not qualified people that don't live in Topeka by any means, but it just makes communication, it makes warranty information, that sort of thing better when you use somebody who's local, that you can just contact and visit their location right away to help with any issues.
Yes, of course. And I'm curious, are there any popular trends going on right now that maybe someone out there is listening and going, oh, I do want that?
Sure. So I mean, there's lots of trendy stuff. of course, but I think that depends on your taste. I would say the biggest thing that we have seen in the last couple of years is people making their spaces age in place appropriate. And so a lot of bathroom remodels from even younger people that have watched their parents or grandparents struggle with mobility issues. And so as they're remodeling, they're kind of keeping that in the back of their head about, okay, how do I make this space safe? And so we've seen a lot of, you know, just forethought in a remodeling process versus just what's trendy.
Oh, I really love that. The kind of keeping the mind of, you know, different people's mobilities, because you know, despite, you know, someone's limited mobility, everyone else can still use the kitchen. That's wonderful. That's fantastic. And so if someone's out there listening right now that like what they're hearing, what's the best way for them to reach out to you guys?
So again, I would say to come in our showroom. We do have showroom hours every day. So come in our showroom, reach out to us on the internet, or call, and then that will start the process to come out and do your free consultation.
Fantastic. Hopefully people can declutter their kitchens a little bit this springtime with you guys. That's wonderful. Lambert, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Pleasure to have you on the show. Of course, everyone, again, to learn more, you can visit ckbkansas.com.